Have you ever wondered why conflict arises in the most serene places? Why does Manipur, a state known for its enchanting beauty, suffer from such unrest? This is the unsettling question we aim to explore today. Manipur, a jewel of India, is a kaleidoscope of cultures and traditions, a place where diversity blooms in every corner. It's a land of breathtaking landscapes, from the blue Loktak Lake to the verdant hills, and a melting pot of diverse tribes and communities. However, beneath this picturesque beauty lies a deep-seated discord, a conflict that has been brewing for years, causing distress among its people. This conflict is not just a territorial dispute, it's a clash of cultures, a fight for identity, and a struggle for power. The roots of this unrest are traced back to groups like the Arambai Tenggol and their interactions with the Kuki community. The root of this conflict is deeper than what meets the eye. Let's dive in to understand. To understand the conflict, we must go back to the time before the storm, to the formation of Arambai Tenggol. In the heart of Manipur, a group was taking shape, a group that would come to be known as Arambai Tenggol. Formed by Meitei militants, this group was not born out of the blue. Its roots were deeply entrenched in the socio-political dynamics of the region. The Arambai Tenggol was a manifestation of a brewing discontent, a simmering tension that was waiting to erupt. This group, however, was not just another faction in the complex social fabric of Manipur. They were a force to be reckoned with, a force that would go on to change the course of history. Their actions were not random but calculated. They had a clear agenda: to assert their dominance over the Kuki community. They started visiting Kuki hills like Thangting, Kupru, and staking claims over them. These were not peaceful visits, but rather displays of power and intimidation. They rode on their loud bikes in bunches, creating a sense of fear and terror among the Kuki people. The Arambai Tenggol didn't stop at territorial claims. They would gunpoint Kuki chiefs, threatening them and creating a reign of terror. Their actions were not just limited to physical intimidation. They also imposed economic blockades, causing severe hardships for the Kuki community. These blockades were not just about controlling resources, but about controlling lives, about exerting power. The Arambai Tenggol's tactics were not just cruel, they were strategic. They knew that by instilling fear and creating economic hardships, they could weaken the Kuki community. They could make them feel helpless and vulnerable. This was a psychological warfare, a battle for dominance and control. The seeds of discord were sown and the stage was set for a conflict that would shake Manipur. The Arambai Tenggol had made their move, setting the stage for a clash that would not just disrupt the peace, but also reshape the future of Manipur. The tension escalated when the Arambai Tenggol started visiting the Kuki hills like Thangting and Kupru. Now picture this: a group boldly entering a quiet community, claiming the land as their own and intimidating the local populace. That's exactly what happened with the Kuki Hills incident. The Arambai Tenggol, formed by Meitei militants, began to take trips to these serene hills and started to assert ownership. They did not just stop at that. Wherever they went, they brought an air of threat and terror with them. The local Kuki civilians were left in a state of fear and uncertainty. Imagine a peaceful day in these hills, suddenly disturbed by the roaring of loud bikes. The Arambai Tenggol would ride in, a bunch of individuals who seemed more like a band of criminals than anything else. They would boastfully roam around, their presence alone enough to cause distress among the Kukis. In some instances, the Kuki chiefs were even held at gunpoint. This blatant display of power was not just about asserting dominance, but also a form of psychological warfare. The Kukis were not just losing their lands, but also their sense of security and peace. Economic blockades and torture were other tactics employed by the Arambai Tenggol, targeting specifically the Kuki people. These incidents, however, were just the tip of the iceberg. These incidents were just the beginning of a much larger conflict. On the 3rd of May 2023, the conflict in Manipur broke out, a date that will forever be etched in the history of this region, marking the beginning of a tumultuous period. The Arambai Tenggol, a group formed by Meitei militants, played a significant role in this conflict. The Arambai Tenggol, known for their boisterous presence, often took to the streets on their loud bikes, intimidating the local populace. Their actions went beyond mere posturing. They were known to threaten the Kuki community, a tribal group native to the region, and their tactics were far from civilized. The Kuki chiefs were often placed under duress, with the Arambai Tenggol not hesitating to use force to assert their dominance. The Kuki community was not only subjected to threats and violence, but the Arambai Tenggol also imposed an economic blockade on them. This not only affected the livelihoods of the Kukis, but also added to the growing tension in the region. The Arambai Tenggol's actions didn't stop at intimidation and economic pressure. They visited Kuki territories such as Thangting and Kupru with an air of entitlement. They walked the hills as if they were their own, adding to the deep-seated resentment among the Kukis. Their audacious claims over territories that were traditionally Kuki lands further strained the relationship between the two groups. The Kukis felt their ancestral lands were being encroached upon, their rights trampled, and their voices silenced. The Arambai Tenggol's disregard for the Kuki community's sentiments was a significant trigger for the conflict. The Manipur conflict was not a sudden explosion of violence, it was a slow-burning fuse, ignited by the constant friction between the Arambai Tenggol and the Kuki community. The tension escalated over time, culminating in a full-blown conflict that disrupted the lives of countless individuals. While territorial disputes formed a large part of the conflict, it was the Arambai Tenggol's uncivilized mannerisms that truly fueled the fire. Their lack of respect for the tribal communities, their blatant disregard for the rights of the Kukis, and their aggressive tactics were all significant contributors to the conflict. The Arambai Tenggol's actions were not only a show of power, but also a blatant disregard for the cultural and social fabric of the region. They disrupted the harmony that once existed, causing a rift that would take years to mend. The conflict was not just a result of territorial disputes, but a reflection of the uncivilized manners of the Arambai Tenggol. The scars of this conflict run deep, and the memories of this period still haunt the people of Manipur. The conflict has left deep scars on the Kuki community, but it has also sparked a desire for change. The aftermath of the conflict has been a period of introspection and resilience for the people of Manipur. The beautiful landscapes that once echoed with the melodies of peace and coexistence now bear the silent testimonies of the turbulence. Yet in these trying times, the spirit of the Kuki community remains unbroken. They are now more determined than ever to reclaim their peace, their lands, their dignity. The hills of Thangting, Kupru, once the symbols of tranquility, have become the symbols of resistance and hope. Despite the intimidation, the Kuki people stand strong, their resilience echoing louder than the roar of any bike. The present situation in Manipur is a complex tapestry woven with threads of history, conflict, and a desperate need for peace. The state, often referred to as the Jewel of India, is yearning for harmony amidst its diverse communities. The echoes of the past still resonate, but the melody of the future can be composed with chords of unity and understanding. The need of the hour is empathy, dialogue, and mutual respect. It's time to replace the gunpoints with points of agreement, the economic blockades with bridges of cooperation. It's time to recognize that the strength of Manipur lies in the unity of its diverse communities, not in their division. The Arambai Tenggol, a group formed from conflict, should be a reminder of the path we must not tread again. Let their actions not be a blueprint for the future, but a lesson from the past. The way forward is not through intimidation and claim, but through understanding and respect. As we move forward, let's not forget the lessons from the past. Let's strive for peace, for harmony, for a Manipur where the hills echo with the joyous laughter of children, not the sound of conflict. Manipur, the jewel of India, deserves peace and harmony. It's time to heal the wounds and look towards a brighter future. In order to understand these complexities, we need to stay informed and connected. It's time to take action, engage with the issues that matter. Subscribe to the Zalangam Media channel and become part of a community that seeks knowledge and understanding. Our videos shed light on critical topics that need your attention. We delve deep into the intricacies of societal issues, unearthing the truth and presenting it to you. Join us in our journey of unraveling the truth. Subscribe to Zalangam Media. Stay informed, stay connected.